Hello everyone, it's Becca from Becca Books and Bujo, and today I'm playing my deck of TBR game for the month of August. Before we jump into the game, I wanted to let you know how I did on July's TBR. So for a classic, I chose Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and I am halfway through this one, so should be able to finish this. I'm recording on the 26th of the month, so I've got 5 days and I'm listening to it. I should be able to get through it pretty easily. For a horror, I picked Bunny by Mona Awad, and I have not started this yet, but I'm not going to take a punishment. I'm still figuring out those new rules, but I think what I will do is every time I don't finish a book on my TBR, I will write the title on a piece of paper and draw it at the end of the video as a punishment. So I would have, instead of 5 draws like I normally do, I would have 6. Then I had a 5-star prediction, which I read Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I should say I chose that and I did read it. And then I had a book with BIPOC representation. And then in this case, I chose a BIPOC author. And for that, I chose Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner, and I did read that. Then I got a book about books, and I chose Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and I did complete that. And lastly, I picked the most recent purchase. All right, that was the prompt I got, and I picked Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng, and I did read that. So technically right now I'm at a 4.5 out of the 6, and I'm gonna count it as a win. I'm just gonna readjust, just feel like I'm off the screen here. So we are going to count that as a win. No punishments. I mean, my punishment would be to draw from titles that I haven't read, and that's Bunny by Mona Awad, and I want to read it anyway. So that's not going to count. So here we go. Here's what we're doing, friends. I had 5 cards left. Let me show you. I had these 5 cards left. And while you might think, Becca, you're cheating, you're getting rid of the Joker. Yeah, maybe I am. But I am going to start anew with a deck. And what I'm actually going to do is, instead of keeping the cards out once I draw them, I'm going to put them back in, because I'm having a new rule that if I draw, I shouldn't shuffle while I'm explaining. If I happen to draw the same card twice in a row, I would have to draw another card. And then, so instead of 5 draws, it'd be 6, or each additional pull after that. And then my other rule is if I draw 3 of the same number in my 5 pulls, that would be another draw, so 6th card. I am going to limit myself to 8, just because that seems like a doable number. So I'm going to brand new reshuffle my deck of cards. And we are also going to update my bomb book over here. It was Purity. I like to change it up every single time. I have quite a few bomb books here that are books that intimidate me, make me a little nervous to read, and I am going to pick one. They are all basically the same size, so I don't know what I'm drawing, and I'm picking this one, A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. So if I draw a Joker, that is the book I need to read. You probably can't see it. Ta-da. Okay, so I'll put my bomb books back, and then I see, I don't even have my prompts. I see I'm missing a prompt here for the 9 of Spades, and so I will go ahead and replace that with middle grade. There are a couple of books I'd like to get on here, or well, quite a few, but one is Outlawed by something North. Great question. Anna North. I'm good. That is for my book club with my friends. We're reading that for the month of August, so I need to get that done within the first week of August. I have a hold coming up on Libby for a particular book. I'm going to try to read ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I haven't read anything by Sarah J. Maas, and I want to try it because everybody on BookTube loves it. And so that's coming up. I would like to get that on here. And then I need to read Kristen Hanna books in August. I've got to do it. I am trying to read all of the Kristen Hanna books, the books she's written in the summer. I'm doing the summer of Kristen Hanna. I have only read like 4, and that was in June. Didn't read any in July. Failed miserably on trying to do the summer of Kristen Hanna. So that's okay. I'll figure it out eventually. So that's 2 official books, Outlawed and ACOTAR, and then any Kristen Hanna I can get on here. We are starting out. You know what? I need like a pen or something to make some notes, because I need to keep track of the cards that I'm drawing if I'm already putting them back in. Okay, so got them shuffled. I am going to take from the top a 3 of spades. 3 of spades. A person on the cover. Great. Almost all of Kristen Hanna's books have a person on the cover. Now I just have to pick which one. Okay, person on the cover. I am going to read Night Road by Kristen Hanna. This is, I think, a more recent one. What year did she publish this? 2011. So a little bit more recent. On the back, it's mostly praise for her other books, but that's okay. Hopefully Night Road is just as good. We'll replace Night Road, the 3 of spades, with a buzzword. Oh, what is the buzzword for this month? For August, item or object. Okay, a road could technically be one. Anyway, okay, if I get the 3 of spades again. So the 3 of spades is going back in the center, and then I'm shuffling. And we are drawing a 2 of hearts. Anticipated. Okay. I think for this one, I'm going to choose ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm anticipating that it will be something for me. I don't know. Fantasy has not been super great for me, but I love a good romance, and YA fantasy seems to be better for me than adult. So I'm anticipating that it might be good. We'll go with that. Okay, let's replace that prompt with BookTube. So one that I have seen a lot on BookTube. I'll put the 2 of hearts back in and shuffling. Okay. Ace of Diamonds. So that's my TBR jar, but because it's the summer of Kristen Hanna, I did this in the month of June too. I created a spinner wheel of all of the books by Kristen Hanna that I have not read. Now I have to make it again. Okay. So I don't know how many that is. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 Kristen Hanna's I have not read. So the wheel, the TBR wheel, will choose. Okay. Angel Falls by Kristen Hanna is my ace of, what did I even draw? Ace of Diamonds. Sure enough, Ace of Diamonds pick for TBR wheel. I got very lucky that that is one that I own, because there are quite a few on there that I don't own and don't know if I could get because they're very old and might be out of print. So Ace of Diamonds, going back in. Don't have to replace anything on board. Reshuffling. Okie dokie. A 5 of clubs. Oh boy, a random publishing year. Okay, so for this one, I need to go to my Goodreads and go to my books and sort by publishing year. Oh, and I have to do my physical TBR too. Okay, so I have 2022 all the way back to 1611. Okay, so let's do 16 to 20. This is gonna be bad. Okay, so I got 19, so that means it has to be in the 1900s. So then I will do 1900 to 1999, generate 1944. Let's see if I can find a book on my physical shelves that was published in 1944. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the closest, this is insane. The closest book to 1944 was published on August 18th, 1943, and it was A Tree Grows in Brooklyn by Betty Smith. This is my bomb book. I didn't even get the Joker, and I have to add it to my TBR. This version of the book is more than 600 pages. I'm sure it might be smaller in other editions, but this is a pretty olive editions, limited edition. Okay, so I will be reading A Tree Grows in Brooklyn. Fun. And someone commented a while ago that that's one of their favorite books and was hoping that I would get the bomb book that time that I played it. I don't even remember when that was, a long time ago, probably more than a year ago. So I am definitely looking forward to it. I think it'll be good, and it just makes me a little scared for some reason because it's a classic and I don't normally read classics. Okay, so we'll replace that prompt with a NetGalley read now. So I am on NetGalley where I sometimes get approved for advanced readers copies, but this would just be one that is available and I wouldn't have to request it. So that's kind of a newer one. How many books am I at? I'm at 4. Wow, I only have one more. Okay, so 5 of clubs going back in the deck. I'm doing fine on numbers. I've only drawn 1 of each, a 3, a 2, an ace, and a 5. So I will not have to draw another that way unless I get a 3 of spades, a 2 of hearts, an ace of diamonds, or a 5 of clubs. Would I need to draw again? I gotta somehow get outlawed on here. Otherwise, I did pretty well for my other goals of getting Chris and Hannah's ACOTAR on this TBR. Okay. A king of clubs. Okay, so this is a prompt that stays on the board, which is play your TBR, right? So I have to play this game, and it'll decide which book. Let me get set up here, and let me decide which books I'm pitting up against each other. So obviously I'm going to put Outlawed as the book that I want to read, but I have to decide what I'm going to put against it. Outlawed is considered a historical fiction, so I'm going to put it up against a historical fiction. And I'm going to put it up against A Spool of Blue Thread. This I picked solely because it had an item or object in the title for Books and Lala's buzzword for August. And I had read Anne Tyler's before. I'm really looking forward to her new release called French Braid. I don't know what this one's about at all. And I've had it on my shelves for a very long time, and so it's just not one I turn toward. So it's obviously not what I want to read. So then for Play Your TBR, right, I put 5 cards. Sorry for my dusty music stand. I'm going to flip over this first card. I have to decide if the next card is higher or lower. If I'm correct, I get to keep moving toward the book I want to read out loud. Put a picture somewhere where it makes sense. If I lose, I have to read the book that I don't want to read. Capiche, capoche. Okay, let's see. An ace, which I play that aces are low, the lowest you can get. So the next card has to be higher. A queen, it is higher. Queens are high. Generally, the only thing that's higher than that is a king. So I'm going to say lower. Anticipation. A jack. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, that was close. Lower than a jack, also, because the only thing higher is queens and kings. Oh my goodness. A 6? Okay. Ooh, that's right in the middle. It's right in the middle. I'm gonna say it's higher than a 6. No! It's a 4. Okay, so I will be reading A Spool of Blue Thread by Ann Tyler. Nothing against Ann Tyler. Wow, it was shortlisted for the Man Booker Prize. Okay, so it's gotta be good. It was a beautiful, breezy yellow and green afternoon. This is how Abby Whitshank always describes the day she fell in love with red in July 1959. The Whitshanks are one of those families that radiate an indefinable kind of specialness, but like all families, their stories reveal only part of the picture. Abby and Red and their 4 grown children have accumulated not only tender moments, laughter, and celebrations, but also jealousies, disappointments, and carefully guarded secrets. From Red's parents, newly arrived in Baltimore in the 1920s, to the grandchildren carrying the Whitshank legacy boisterously into the 21st century, here are 4 generations of lives unfolding in and around the sprawling, lovingly worn house that has always been their anchor. Okay, I do love generational sagas, stories, so maybe it'll be okay, but I'm going to make the rule that I have to read this before I read Out Loud, which I need to read out loud by August 8th. So this is going to be my next book, basically, is what we're saying. Cool. Okay, let me get organized and I'll be back with you. Here's the stack, a very blue theme, which is weird because most of the books that I read in July were also blue. Weird. Okay, so for person on the cover, I am reading Night Road by Kristen Hanna. For anticipated, I am reading A Court of Thorns and Roses. Have I been saying ruin? A Court of Thorns and Roses. Is that what it's called? It's called A Court of Thorns and Roses for an anticipated read by Sarah J. Maas. Then I got an ace, which was TBR Wheel, and I got Angel Falls by Kristen Hanna. For published, a random publishing year, I got the year 1944, and close enough, 1943 was A Tree Grows in Brooklyn, my bomb book. And lastly, I got King, which is Play Your TBR Right, where I pitted up against each other A Spool of Blue Thread and Out Loud, and I lost the game. So I will be reading A Spool of Blue Thread before I can read Out Loud, which is so weird because Out Loud is also very blue. What's up with this blue? TBR. It's a vibe. A Court of Thorns and Roses is not blue. It's very red. So I guess I'm patriotic. Great. Something I really want to be right now. Have you read any of these books? Let me know what you thought of them in the comments down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Consider subscribing to my channel if you want to see more content by me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.